As soon as I hit the recording button. Okay, great. So I just had to remember that. It was very important. And this session will be available right after, about an hour after the session ends. And so you all will be able to see that. We do want to hear from you in the chat. So please feel free to ask questions or comment in the chat box on this conference platform. We do recommend using the staying mute just until the presenters ask you otherwise. We also are going to leave this on gallery view, and I don't believe there's any formal presentations that you all have unless you have a couple of slides that you want to share. I don't think so. Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay. So we just want to have this as a conversation, just some different things to learn from each other and take time to kind of talk about some ways that we've been able to connect with families, recruit, and some creative things that we've done. So with that, I will turn it over to Miss Talon, and she will get started.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, so I am the My Family Home Visiting Coordinator for Neosho County with Southeast Kansas Mental Health Center. So I refer families for early learning programs with the McVie grant, such as Early Head Start, Healthy Families with Kansas Children's Service League, and then Parents as Teachers. So my job is to recruit families, and that has been, it was easy before COVID, and then it got more difficult. And so we had to get really creative. In Southeast Kansas, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Southeast Kansas, but we're from like a small community, and there's not a ton of community resources. And so that has been posed some obstacles. And so I have notes on my other screen. So if I'm like looking over there, that's just to keep my track on mind, or my mind on track. Okay. So the first thing I've done that's really been helpful is the diaper program. And so I received tons of diapers from a donor, and I have about 800 packages. I've gotten rid of a lot now, but and it is just to provide diapers for families who complete different activities. And so that can be attending WIC appointments, that can be going and getting things from the Pregnancy Resource Center, that can be getting their car seats inspected, attending appointments with the mental health center, and signing up for early learning programs and keeping those home visiting services. And so once they go to a provider, the provider will just initial the form that I give them. And then once they get 4 signatures, so basically once a month, if they have an appointment weekly, they just call or text me, and I just bring a pack of diapers and drop it off on their porch. They don't even have to be home. A lot of the times they're just like, drop it off, we'll pick it up later. And so it's been a great way to keep contact with families through COVID, because there's not a ton of like face-to-face contact that I need with them. And then B, it's been a great way to like incentivize activities that families should already be doing. And if they might not have been doing them previously, it kind of gives them something to work for. And also diapers are expensive. And so especially during COVID, families struggled with getting diapers. And so if there was an emergency, I would obviously give them an emergency pack or 2. But that has just been a great way to stay in touch with families. And I've also used that as staying in touch with families that aren't involved in MCV programs. So if they are, then that's been great. And it can help keep them in the program and active in the program. But also I can like tell them, hey, I'm going to give you a free pack of diapers if you sign up for a program, or if you're interested in a program. So that has also been just a great way to keep in touch with families. And then the second like bigger thing and more fun thing that I've done recently was it's called a diaper and donut event. I called it Diapers and Donuts, and that was so fun. And I did, in July was the first time that I had tried it, and I just thought it was really successful. So basically every family that came got a donut, and then they got a pack of diapers, and they had the opportunity to chat with different community resources. So all of the early learning programs were there. The OB was there in her office, and then the health department was there with the MCH program and WIC information. And so that was great. And then every buddy that came got a gift. And so every program that participated in the event, they gave a gift. So some people got car seats, some people got like bags filled with like blankets or formula or things like that. Some people got clothes, onesies, just different things like that. And so families just got to come. They got a tote bag with my stuff in it. And then if they were already in a home visiting program, they got a name tag that indicated that, just so we didn't get double dipping. But then also if they weren't in a program, they had the opportunity to sign up for a program right there. So I would say that was a huge success and a way to get in touch with families, especially because in the area, I am not currently sitting at WIC. And so that has been kind of tough to get into like face-to-face contact with families. And then I would say just like an encouragement, if you are recruiting, to continue building relationships with community resources. So like DCF, TFI, the schools, those helping professions that are already in the homes of families. So that has been a great help for me, is to just have those relationships with the individuals that are already have connections with families. So and then, speaking of trying to make connections with new people, I have utilized Facebook. And if your company or organization will let you use Facebook, that has been a huge help for me, because everything is social media. And so why not use that to our advantage? So my Facebook page is simply called My Family of Neosho County. And that is a way that I help get the word out about events or available programs in the community, the diaper program, different things like that. So I share lots of posts from other organizations, but I also make my own. And I've actually been able to connect with families via the Facebook page. So it was actually interesting. I was on a buy sell trade page one day, and this lady had put on there that she had just gotten custody of some family members. She had no formula, no food, or no diapers, no clothes, anything like that. And so she was asking for help. And so I had the opportunity to reach out to her via Facebook Messenger. And I ended up connecting her with all sorts of community resources, helping her get in with WIC and just getting her all of the physical things that she also needed. And so had I not had a Facebook, I'm not from the community that I work in, and so I wouldn't have been in that group. And so Facebook has been a great way. I also did a video where I made healthy granola bars, and families loved that. And so even if I didn't get any referrals from that, it was just a great way to connect with families. They were sharing it, they were tagging their friends, they were saying, we should try this. And I just used simple things that they'd probably get from WIC. And so, yeah, so before COVID, I utilized Facebook to give them updates on events that I was organizing in the community, but now I use it to connect with families. And so that's been the greatest way for me to connect with families so far. So yeah, if anyone has any questions or anything, you can ask them. I'm sorry, I probably talked 100 miles an hour, but.
Thank you so much, Taylor. And that is no worries. I empathize in talking extremely fast. I have to stop, breathe, and remind myself very consciously to do so. Does anyone have any questions for Taylor about any of her programs, how she got started with any of them, or things that maybe we could help out in your local community? I don't see anything. Well, if you think of one, please feel free to stop us or put it in the chat. And Taylor, I apologize, I forgot to read your bio, so that was my fault. But next time, I'll remember. Next, we have Miss Christy. And Christy, I will remember to read your bio this time, so I'll go ahead and share. She joined the Barton County Health Department in 2018. She holds a few different titles, including a Healthy Start Home Visitor, a WIC Breastfeeding Peer Counselor, Teen Pregnancy Targeted Case Management Program Coordinator, and Safe Sleep Instructor. Those roles marry perfectly for her agency, as she can often offer WRAP services. And so that fits many of her client needs. Through the pandemic, she worked alongside her team, offering vaccination outreaches with hospitals, nursing homes, and the local community college, as well as many successful drive-through clinics. Before working through the health department, she served her community as a hairstylist for 25 years, as well as a domestic and sexual violence advocate of 3 years for the Family Crisis Center. She's a longtime resident of Barton County, raising 3 boys in the community. Christy started her journey into parenthood as a young 16-year-old junior in high school. She found herself sitting on the other side of the desk where she sits now. She brings with her and lived experiences, offering a unique appreciation for the work that she is doing. Her passion to serve and give back to her community to help guide and impact people's lives puts her in the perfect roles that she carries working these different programs simultaneously. Through years of utilizing community services and building connections, she has developed many meaningful relationships with community agencies that has given her an advantage to accessing and maintaining so many of her collaborating partners. And with that, Christy, I will turn it over to you.
Hello, I am Christy. Can everybody hear me? Hear me okay? Okay. I was having trouble with my mic before, so I just want to make sure I'm not having trouble now. So like she said, I work for the Barton County Health Department, and I have several programs that I work in, and they all work really well together. So I'm very fortunate for that. The Barton County Health Department believes strongly in our safe sleep program and getting that out into the community. So whenever it came time to find somebody that could be trained, I was the logical choice because of the other programs that I serve. So that's one thing I feel like gives an advantage to getting the connections to the clients to be able to serve them and give them the education instead of having to find that other place to resource them. So if that's ever an opportunity for you guys, I would tell you to take it because it's a good way to serve the clients. Some of the other things that I do is I visit all of our new pregnant and parenting moms through WIC to get them connected in different programs. We have the MCH program, we have PMI, we have the teen parenting program, and those are all similar but different. So teen pregnancy obviously is for moms between the ages of 14 and 21. And then the PMI program is kind of catches moms in all the other age groups. We also do WIC through our program. And then we have our healthy families come to our office and recruit on our new pregnant days. So we have collaboration with them, which is really great. A lot of the same things Taylin already shared. We do here, we have a Facebook page, and our health department has a Facebook page. Our breastfeeding peer counselor has a Facebook page. Our teen pregnancy has a Facebook page. And staying connected with our families through those pages has really helped a lot too. We also go into the hospital and see all the new moms that deliver in Barton County. Excuse me, I need a drink. And share with them the different resources that are in the community and get them connected with the needs that they might have. Again, we share about safe sleep. We talk about postpartum. We talk to everybody in the room, whether it's grandma or dad or mom, and share the things that are going to be happening in their lives with their new babies. And so if they have any questions or any needs that are outside of what I can help them with, make sure they get connected with them. I do follow-ups with them also through texting and calling. I refer off to our nurse that's in our office. That's our home visiting nurse, and she makes contact with them. Tries several times. She sends out a letter. If she cannot get connected through the phone, then she sends out a letter. And usually between her and I, we can have at least one one verbal conversation at some point before they either decline a home visit or accept one. So we work really hard to stay connected like that. We offered them to come to our office to perform the home visit if they aren't comfortable with having anybody come into their house. We do some home visiting information and education over the phone if they're not comfortable with meeting in person, if they have any kind of COVID restrictions, because a lot of families do at any point in time. So we try to accommodate all their needs as they come about too. So we haven't done any virtual meetings just because through our health department, it's not secure. So we haven't tackled that yet, which I would be curious to know if anybody is able to do that. That would be something that would be nice. We have gotten together when COVID kind of had a little bit of a lull, and we did a community baby shower where we invited about 20 other agencies in the community. So we had 2 hospitals represented. We had all of the pediatricians represented. Our birthing hospital was represented. Of course, our health department, and we have several agencies through our health department that was there. Our police station, our fire department. So we had several agencies involved in that, which I think lots of families appreciated and didn't realize we had so many resources available to moms that were expecting. So that hopefully is only going to get bigger and better. We partnered with Aetna, and they provided all of our baby shower, our pack and plays for the event, which was amazing. And so we were really appreciative of that. So just working really hard this last year, I think, to make all the connections in the community and hopefully be able to use that to better serve all our participants whenever the lull in having the connection with our participants, we focused on collaborative partners, trying to fill our time when we couldn't be in face-to-face contact with our clients. So we worked really hard on making all those connections with partners in the community. So we were able to, through this time, we were able to partner with our fire department, and now we have a fireman, can't get the word out, that is a safe sleep educator, and he also went ahead and got his car seat certification too. So we have, that's pretty exciting, I feel like, for them to find value in that and want to be a partner in those kind of things. So at the health department, we do safe sleep, our car seat inspections also. So we work really hard on involving our dads. And we have a new program that is a fatherhood initiative, where we have a father that is trained and went through a curriculum, and now he is offering sessions for dads to go through a fatherhood initiative program. I think it's about 6 weeks, and at the end of it, I mean, there's no incentive at the end, but just to have a connection with another dad or all the dads, and learn how to be a dad, I guess. I'm not a dad, so I don't know exactly what they do in that group, but all the dads that are involved in it seem to really appreciate it. We are working on doing a daddy boot camp to educate dads specifically and have opportunity for them to come together and share what it's like to be a dad and learn more things about that. I feel like we've been doing a lot. And of course, with COVID, we've all been taking our turns helping with clinics, and because working for the health department, it's all hands on deck at any point. And so sometimes that takes precedence over some of the other stuff. So we have to make sure our community is safe in all ways. And part of that is working vaccination clinics and being there and being available for when the rest of the staff needs us. So that's part of it too. I know I'm leaving a lot of stuff out, but I'm just excited to be here and to be sharing. And I'm really excited to hear what some other people might be doing that we can bring to the table and maybe do here too. I love the donuts and diapers. That is awesome. I think that is going to be a topic I bring up. That's so cool. I think that might be everything. I don't know.
Does anyone have any questions for Ms. Christie about any of the programs that she mentioned? She mentioned so much. Goodness, they do a lot. So impressive. And so I just appreciate you sharing all of that, Christy. It sounds like we have a comment in the chat from Shelly saying that she's interested in what centralized intake centers tell families about home visiting in order to get them interested in it, as well as following through with us after they are called for a referral. Does anyone have any feedback to that, or would you like to respond to that question? I know, Taylor, you work in central intake, so maybe you can give some input to that.
Yeah, so like I said, I use the diaper program to kind of incentivize that, but I also tell families that there are programs that come into the home to support them and to just give them any like advice or any ideas of activities that they can do with their children that they might need ideas for. So and I use like parents as teachers. I'll say parents as teachers uses things that are already in your home to create activities with your children that will help with the development of their brain. And so they're not asking you to go out and buy multiple things to do like something that will benefit your child, but they're going to use things that are in your home. And I just really kind of hit home with that they're there to support the family and not for any other reason. And then it's supposed to be fun and not a stressor. And I always say it's voluntary, so you can sign up at any time, or you can sign up or quit if it becomes overwhelming for you, just so that they know that they're not locked into a year-long thing. Or we hope that they're excited and that they have fun and that they will stay with the program, but I'm not trying to hook them in for multiple years. So that's kind of how I go about it. Sorry, I was reading the chat.
My home visiting is very short term. So I get to have a relationship with the families through their pregnancy, and then after delivery, only as needed. And then I hand off that torch to parents as teachers, healthy families, those kind of agencies. But I think it's crucial too, right at the very beginning, after delivery, for a mom to have a visit with either a nurse or a professional on some level that can come in and just give them little simple education and check in on breastfeeding and make sure safe sleep is that they're clear on how that works, and answer any other questions and go over postpartum. We go over the maternal warning signs of when to call their doctor. So, and then I hand off that torch, like I said, but I'm at the hospital, so I'm telling them I'm the one that's going to come to see you in your home. And I think that helps, having already established that rapport when you meet them in the hospital too. So I have an advantage of that, where our hospital allows us to come in, but we've worked hard to cultivate that relationship with the hospital. And during COVID, when they weren't allowing visitors to come in, they were still faxing me the information for the families that delivered. So I still able to make those connections one way or another. So I see in the chat where someone has asked how we established that with the hospital. That was before my time, so I'm not real sure, but we had kind of a unique situation where some doctors went in together and established the hospital that is now our birthing center. And that doctor was also our medical director, and he was also our he did our healthy women exams for our health department too. So he bought into it and just made it part of their thing where we are in. And so now we're our hospital is now owned by KU Med, and they still just follow that same protocol. So it's great. We even are going to start doing Edinburgh's, because the hospital doesn't screen for postpartum by the time they exit after they've had their baby. So we're going to start screening for that too, hopefully.
I saw also Lisa posted in the chat, anyone have innovative ideas when you're home visiting? Contract only serves individuals involved with Child Protective Services or DCF. I don't have that like stipulation. So if anybody has any ideas, feel free to shout them out.
Let's see.
We lost Kale.
Lisa, there was a question.
Oh,
Okay, I see that you just answered it. Without our person in charge, we gotta wing this, I guess. So what are some of the other things that families that you guys are doing out in the communities to get recruitment or to stay in contact with the families that you're serving? I'm just curious because I would love to have some new ideas after a year of trying. It's nice to be refreshed a little bit, I think. And it would be nice if we could have all been together this year and be able to meet each other and put those ideas like face to face, but here we are. So now's a great time, I think.
Did you want us to respond in the chat box or just?
Yeah, just
unmute?
come back on here and that'd be great so we can see your face.
All right. So we've done a lot of, we've done some Facebook live events or Facebook events where we do some activities and share it with the families that are in our program. We did how to make a sensory tub and just for some messy play with our families, and did it through Facebook. And we had a lot of families view that and they really enjoyed it. We've done some events at the park where we have a play group at the park. And so any of our families are welcome to come, and we do an activity, or we have a story and maybe a little craft to go along with it that the parents can do with their kids. And then they can play and just meet up with some other families of the same age that are also in our program. So since we haven't been able to have our play group, we have done them at the park, and that's been a big, the parents have really enjoyed it. So that's really been helpful.
I've heard where some have kind of like you said, they had live Facebook events, and then had like packages where the families could come pick them up and then do at home, like do alongside at home. Has anybody had success with that?
We typically drop them off for our families. Like if we do we do lots of virtual family nights, well, a few. And that, like, we did bingo the month before last. So we did like a little snack and their bingo cards and everything, and it just goes in the little package, and you just drop it off on their porch, and then everybody has it and they just get on the Zoom. But right now we're still doing outside visits. So that's super fun to try to have several children sitting in one place. So we have different things that we've done. Like I do a lot of sensory stuff with Jello. Mary, who is also on here, had this super great idea where she blends graham crackers up and then puts them in a tub with like a measuring cup and all kinds of other stuff so they can just play in it like sand. So just coming up with creative ways to get them to sit still for a short amount of time.
Hi, everyone. I just wanted to say I'm back, and I apologize. Thank you so much for Christy and Talon to rocking that and being moderators for a second. I don't know what happened. Our Pathable glitched and my whole screen went black. So I don't know if you saw me, but I couldn't see you. So it sounds like you guys are all having some great conversation though. So please do not let me stop it. If you have any guided questions, please let me know. Feel free to message me and keep the conversations going as long as you would like. And then when you're all done, just let me know. I think we really just want to utilize this space for you all to learn from each other and share things. And maybe there's something that someone hasn't thought of, and you can use this space to all work together and brainstorm some new ideas, which it sounds like you already have been to help connect with the families in your community. So awesome job in keeping that going. Thank you. And I apologize for the technical error, but that's bound to happen, right? Over virtual communication. So does anyone else have any questions or
I will share one thing as far as engagement with new families. We have a program and several others are starting to do this. They have bios written up and pictures of the home visitors and the staff, and they send that to families. And I have our engagement people they have texted their picture to parents so that before they come to their home, they have a picture to go with this person, or if they're doing a virtual thing, they still have a picture to put with that name. And we're finding, and I thought, well, I would love that if someone were coming to my home so that I know that this is who is supposed to be here at my house right now. And so it's just one of those things of trying to make families feel more comfortable, but in that beginning process of enrolling in the program.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great idea. I had a similar experience when I was working in the homes. I had my badge, my hair didn't match my badge. And so she was very upset with me, first of all. She was very upset that I changed my hair. And I had to go and find a picture and show her how my face still matched. And it was building safety. So sometimes you just have to go through those extra steps, but that's very real. I think it's very comforting for them to know who you are, what you look like. I always try to start my visits with a little bit about me. I know sometimes people are like, don't share, overshare. But there's definitely a balance in just making yourself relatable. I think I saw a question in what happens in BCF referrals. And a lot of my cases were high level. There's usually some sort of intervention there, and they don't want you there as much as, as anything. So I think for me, it's showing them pictures, talking to them about myself, and letting them know that I'm not there to judge them. I think always starting that off, and even sharing pictures of my dogs or, people in my life to make them seem like I'm human too. And we all go through things. So I love that picture idea. That vividly brought back the memory of my badge. I ended up changing my badge because every time I saw her, she was like, "He still doesn't match though." So she was very upset. But yeah, that sounds like you guys really like that idea. It says, does everyone have a work phone you text from? I know my company gave out work phones for us. Is that pretty common for everyone else too? Yeah, I see a lot of head nods. No, I see some nods. Okay. Yeah, it definitely. Oh, Gail, go ahead. I saw you on mute.
Sorry. We text from our personal cell phones. But we have desk phones we can call from and make the first contact with our desk phone. But we don't have another way to text except our personal phones.
Yeah, it looks like the Google Voice is a good option, those texting apps, especially if you you only have your desk phone to make that contact. And if you're out in the community too, those texting apps are always really helpful. Sometimes that was, if I had a texting app on my work phone, I gave that specifically to, I had teenagers at times instead of the little ones. I had a mixture of both, and teenagers, that was helpful for them to have a texting app, because if they had my access to my personal phone or my work phone, that still could be a lot of messages. Does anyone have any ideas, anything that has been mentioned so far that they would like to share about their program, anything that they've done? I just want to make sure we're not missing anyone. Some great ideas. Okay, well, it doesn't look like I'm seeing any unmuting. Taylor and Chrissy, is there anything else that you all would like to add?
I don't think so. Shared everything I can think of anyways.
I can't think of anything. I'm sure there is. Once we hang up, I'll be thinking about it and be like, oh, I wish I would have said that, or I wish I would have asked that. So
I have a question.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I believe this is for Tylen. You had mentioned with the diapers and donuts having a donor. How did you go about getting a donor for a large amount of diapers?
So a couple of things. So first, I have a certain amount of like marketing money I can use. And so at first I was using that and sticking like a label on every pack of diapers. indicating that it was from me. But then it was just like a organization that had extra funds at the end of the year that they were going to lose the funds if they didn't use it. And so they had heard about the diaper program and then contacted me and was like, we've got lots for you. So,
Okay.
and I haven't gotten rid of all of them. So I don't have to use any of my own, like of my family money for it anymore because I can't get rid of all of them. And so, yeah, that's how, but I've also heard from other my family coordinators in Southeast Kansas, they've gotten donors, like donations from like churches. And I was actually about to go through with one. It was like around Valentine's Day, like loving the children in the community, something along those lines, where they could go and take diapers and like donate them to like at their church service, and then the church would donate them to me. But then I got the big donation and I was like, no, thank you. But before that, I almost went through with that. So I've also heard of like getting donations from like reaching out to churches. That has also been a good resource.
Okay. And were you doing that in person, over the phone, or through social media? How did you find the donors being most effective?
I found was like calling or emailing, just because I don't know, in person, especially like at a church, in person is hard because their hours are so like strange. But yeah, I figured that emailing is good, especially because you can email a flyer, email like a long message about who you are, what you do, how you help families in the community. But yeah,
Okay.
for the community that I work in, they work best like emailing or calling, but some communities work better in person. So I think it just
Okay. Thank you.
I wanted to jump in. I don't have video on, sorry, my camera is broken. But what we've done with local churches is we do kind of like a pack and play. And so we have a pack and play, and if the church is interested, they can set up, a few Sundays and give out information about our program. And if people want to donate, they do. We've had actually a lot of luck with that. And we actually had some volunteers from other churches want to get into it. So we were pretty excited about that. And then a little bit about the outreach that everyone's been talking about, because it's been so difficult with COVID. One of the things that we've tried to do is do a little bit more personalization. So for the families that we're serving, is sending handwritten cards. I mean, I know it seems really simple, but it really makes a difference. And especially with like Thanksgiving coming up, it's a really good excuse just to why we're thankful for your family and what a good job you're doing. Those sort of things, sticking with the positives and what we can do to support families that way is some of the things that we've done.
Yeah, that's great. Melissa, thank you so much. I know I used to always say to my family, it takes a village, right? We got to appreciate each other in that village. Jillian, I did see that you unmuted. Would you like to add anything?
Oh, I just typed my question in the chat. It was for Talon. Did you do, okay, you did it in July, so they were masks. Okay. I was going to say pre-COVID, we did something a little similar at our office, but it wasn't, I don't know that we gave away as many diapers as you did. So that's really fun. Yeah,
and I know too, going back to how do you get resources, something that I have learned over the past couple of months is something I always try to say is that, sometimes it doesn't hurt to ask. I've been working on these McV bags for the kiddos in partnership with the KDHE, and I had to buy bulk of essentially everything. But through that, I was able to make a lot of different partnerships that I didn't even know existed, like Scholastic books. They have a partnership and they'll give you Scholastic books for I think it's 50 to 75% discounted. And the only requirement for the program is you have to promise to give the books away for free. And every $150 that you spend, you get 10 free books back. And so because of a project that I'm working on for the kiddos in McV, I purchased I think over 10 different books, including books for Spanish speaking families, and paid no more than like $1,000. Total books though, I think I ordered around 800 books and didn't pay any more, around like $1,000. And then I got 10 free books back, and the books were charged at like $3, $2, $1.97. Like I got them for outrageous prices. And I just found that by continuously doing research for these different, a lot of large corporations will have partnerships if you just dig a little deep. Sometimes it's hard to find, but that's a good one for literacy initiatives, if anyone needed that. And then also, Halo, I know, Christy, you said you're a safe sleep instructor. I made a partnership with Halo because we are giving away some safe sleep blankets or swaddles to families in the next couple of months. And I was able to make a partnership with that, but it's actually under their hospital program. And I called and I was like, well, I'm not a hospital, but can we still work together? And they were like, sure. So I ordered over 350 halos for $10 a piece, which you guys have looked at halos, they're usually $30 a piece. So it makes a big difference. They do also have a program too, where you can get a pack and play and a Halo sleep blanket as a combination. I think it's like around $65, which is, the price sometimes of one pack and play. So that's kind of nice that you get both if you go through programs like that. So it's just some things I've been able to do just in the last couple of weeks. Yeah, it sounds like Mia mentioned that there's a 50-50 matching as well for books. And they had some other drive-through events. Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing.
We try to find grants that kind of fit what we're going to be educating our families on, and see if some of the items that we could give away would fit in that grant, and then purchase through our grants. So, and then just finding people too in the community that either already have the resource or is willing to, like Etna, we have a new representative, and she just happened to be a friend of mine. And so during casual conversation, that's how we were able to make that happen. So you never know who's doing what in your community and who you already have connections with. So, I mean, use those connections is what I say.
I had another idea of recruitment that I had done pre-COVID, so a couple of years ago, and it was during Thanksgiving. So any family in November that signed up for a McBee home visiting program received a Thanksgiving fix-in basket. And so the basket included things to make green bean casserole, stuffing, like the instant potato packages, gravy, different things like that. And so basically everything you need for a Thanksgiving meal other than the turkey. And so that was a huge hit. I actually ended up having to go back to Walmart and getting more. I think I gave out 20 in that month. And so that was a really great way to recruit families. I'm actually going to do it again this year. So it's awesome because everything's prepackaged. And so nobody has to worry about my germs or anyone else's germs in transportation. So that was like a really great recruiting thing that I had done a couple of years ago and will continue to do. So.
Awesome. Tim, thank you so much for sharing. And thank you, Christy, so much for sharing. Give you a virtual round of applause. I don't know if anyone has anything else to add. Otherwise, that will conclude our session, our last session of the day. We will start again tomorrow at 12:30. We appreciate you all being here. I hope that you were all able to learn something new, do some networking, and hopefully have some ideas to bring back to your community. If you do have any questions, please feel free to let us know. Otherwise, we hope you have a good evening, and we will see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christy. Awesome job. Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate it.
We appreciate you. How do I leave?